I was on here talking and didn't realize that I didn't press record. I got started to yap and I'm like, what's going on? So, anyway, hi, I actually pressed the record button, the go live button. So now I'm actually here. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's having a good Friday and everyone's ready for the weekend. Per usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out everything in the link tree. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. And then also don't forget to chat in the chat section or whatever over here, okay? And say hi. Hi to everybody in the chat that said hi. It's a decent amount of y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it, okay? So, okay. If y'all have been following me for long enough, y'all already know, yeah, marriage has really not ever been something I cared about or something that I had wanted to strive for, simply because of the fact whenever I would hear men describe what they wanted in a wife, or they were already married, and I would be like, oh, what attracted you to your wife? Like, what made you want to, be with her or whatever. They just started this like exhaustive list of like all the things that their wife was doing. And I would look at him and I'd be like, but what about you? Like, what are you doing? Like what are you doing? And then when I asked the wife, I'm like, oh, well, what made you want to marry him? And she's just like, oh, like he was just so nice. And I'm just like, so he's nice but you're a slave? Like, I just never understood the trade-off, honestly. I'm like, my mama is nice, okay? The person that is taking my food order at a restaurant, they're nice, okay? I don't think I got to give somebody my body and children and emotional and domestic labor because they're fucking nice. I run across a lot of nice people. Their level of niceness will never want to make me give up all the stuff that they're expecting from me. Sorry, okay? That's just not happening. It's just not happening over here, okay? So like I just kind of feel like whenever I would hear men talk about like them getting married, I just kind of feel like they just didn't want a wife. Like they just wanted a mommy. They wanted a mommy that would sleep with them. Like when you really think about it, that's really what they want. They want a mommy. They want a mommy that they could sleep with. On the argument against marriage and children for women as like as to why like I don't want it or why I don't think women should get married or have children. Is that what you're asking? I got to make sure I know what y'all are talking about. But the biggest thing, oh my God, it's that goddamn domestic labor. Okay. These men want a slave. I'm sorry. They don't want a partnership. Okay. Men don't even have enough to contribute for it to be a partnership. Like, they will say like, oh yeah, I want a traditional woman. And it's like, okay, well, can you do the traditional thing of you providing fully? Can you fix the water heater? You know what I mean? Can you light the pilot light? Can you do the oil change? Can, you fix whatever problem that we have going on in the home? Like, dude, none of these men can do that shit. Like, none of them can do any of that. And then they want you to go 50-50. So I have to be here cooking and cleaning and like doing all this domestic labor. But any labor around the house you can't do. I hope you're the one paying for that since you can't do it. Because God forbid if you tell them, I want to get a maid in here, or I want to get a chef, or I want to hire a meal delivery service for us because I don't want to cook. They're going to look at you sideways. They're going to look at you like, you can't do that. You can't, you can't do any of that stuff. So it's kind of like, absolutely not. Okay. They want a humpback assistant. Yeah, it's like I don't want to do any of that, okay? In men's single income, it's not even touching a fraction of what it would take for them to be considered a provider. But yet they want you to provide all of the same things as a traditional woman. Absolutely not. No, I'm not going to cook, clean, do laundry, fold clothes, nurture you, stroke your fragile ego. No. And I have to sleep with you too, knowing good well that he will want to sleep and do the do way more often than I will ever want to do. Child, no. That's free labor. I can't do that. I can't sell myself that short. Okay? I can't sell myself I can't sell myself that short. I feel like if a man were to look at me and to think that I was wifey material, I failed at life. If a man is looking at me and saying, "Oh yeah, you're wifey type, you're wifey material," child, I done failed. I have failed at life because it should never be giving that I want to be a slave. Should never be giving that I want to cater to a man. Even the song by Destiny's Child is enough to make me want to cringe. Honestly, honestly, if that song ever pops up on Spotify, if I have a playlist, baby, I'm cutting off that song immediately. I don't even want those subliminals going in my brain, catering to some man. No, thank you. No, thank you. And that's another thing too. When a man is like, "You remind me of your mother. You remind me of my mother." I'm like, "Okay, what the fuck was your mother doing? Please let me know. Was your mother being pampered and taken care of and being a princess? If she was doing anything outside of that, fuck no. I don't ever want to be compared to your mother. If your mama wasn't put up, being provided for, being taken care of, hell no. I don't want to be reminded of your mother. And tapping screen thinking him on TikTok brainwash. Technically, you can tap because they got likes at the bottom. Well, I don't know if you're watching it or not. I don't know. Well, no, it would be the same. They have the little heart or whatever and the reactions that they have on like the bottom right, kind of. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, their mother was a slave. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. And all of that for a man? All of that for a man? Because see, that's the thing. That's why I'm like, no, it's a psyop. It's a psyop to be a pick me. It's a psyop for there to be pick me's out here. It has to be because psychologically you would have had to have been brainwashed to see the made up value of a man where you would even want to give them your domestic labor and you're doing it for free. Like what? Like, I remember one time I was talking to my dad, and there was a woman that he had dealt with, and, like, the woman, she has herself together. She does, she has herself together. She's a little bit older than my father. And so I asked him, I was like, "How come it never worked out with so and so?" And essentially, he told me her, like, trajectory was much higher than my father's for several reasons. Like, she actually has, like, excuse me, she actually has, like, an advanced degree, and so, like, she has, like, a career. At the time, my father was still very early on in his entrepreneurial, endeavors. So she had a lot of connections to people. And obviously she was older, you know what I mean? So she's had a lot longer to get her grounding and footing in life. And so when they had like first got together, essentially he kind of felt like most men, like intimidated, you know what I mean? Because he just kind of felt like she was pulling more rank than he was. And so he told me that another reason why is because my dad's a handyman. He's very, very handy. He can fix a lot of things because he's done like He's done like a electrician, HVAC, like he's done all of that stuff. So he's very handy. And so he said that he would also get annoyed. He would also get annoyed because whenever she would invite him over, it would always like be something for him to have to do. It would always be something that she would have him to do to like fix around the place. And in my head, I'm like, that's an even exchange to me. I mean, you're sleeping with her and hanging out with her and like the female feminine energy that she has. I'm over here like, I mean, the least you could do is like, fix something. The least you could do is use your physicality and your handyman stuff to fix up stuff in the house. And I hear that from a lot of men. They actually will be like kind of annoyed that um women will like have things for them to like fix around the house or like do around the house, they want they want women to do all this stuff. Now, one thing I can say is that my father, he's never been one to put labor onto a woman. He refuses. He doesn't ask anyone to cook, clean, do his laundry or anything like that. If these women did it, it's because they went into full pick me mode for my dad. But my dad he can cook good, he can clean, he can do all this shit himself. It's never really been an expectation for a woman to ever do that for him. But in my opinion, I was just kind of like, why wouldn't you want to help her? Like, I felt like she was doing the right thing. And the thing about it is that she dealt with my dad for so long. She dealt with him for so long. I'm like, I'm glad she got some things around the house fixed. I am. I'm glad she got some things around the house fixed. That way they can think twice and not only be looking at just seeking pleasure all the time. Like, no, you're going to have to work too while you're over here. Okay. Oh, another thing too. Well, I already said the whole wife material thing. I'm not wife material. I don't strive to be wife material. I don't want to make you dinner. I don't want to do laundry. I don't want to tolerate neglect. Like, do we not remember girl dinner? Okay, girl dinner. I don't know if anyone is familiar with that, but essentially it was like this sensationalized agreement that women, when we don't feel like cooking, will just create a meal out of any goddamn thing. We don't care. Like for dinner, you'll just have like a glass of wine and some grapes and some cheese and then call it girl dinner. That should already be telling men that women really don't enjoy cooking. Women really don't enjoy doing any more labor than they have to do. Now, are there women out here that like to cook? Yes. Like I like to cook. But every time I'm hungry, I'm not going to be cooking over a fucking stove. Like I'm going to cook enough so that way I can just keep eating the meal. I'm not going to fucking be over a hot stove every single fucking night. Like if I got some stuff to put together and I don't feel like cooking, I'm going to put it together. Like it's really that simple. And men like couldn't wrap their brain around the whole girl dinner thing because in their brain they thought that women actually enjoyed making like 3-course dinners every single night, that they thought that like that's how we lived. Like they literally thought that we enjoyed cooking so much that the level of cooking that they would expect from us is what we would do for ourselves. No. Okay. Absolutely not. Like they really lie to themselves thinking that we enjoy that shit. Like, no, I don't want to cook every single day. I want to cook enough and then be able to eat it. And then I don't know if you guys have been seeing these TikToks, but these wives are coming out talking about how greedy their husbands are. These women have been exposed in the fact of how greedy their husbands are. There was a story of a woman who got surgery. She cooked enough food for meal prep, for post op. That way she could focus on healing and not have to focus on cooking. Can you believe that motherfucker? And she put it in the back of the refrigerator. So she already knew what her husband was capable of. She already knew she married a greedy motherfucker. She put the food in the back of the refrigerator. When she got back home from the surgery, she realized that all the food in the refrigerator was gone. He ate it all. He ate all of the food that she ended up prepping for her to have prepared post-op. Then there was a woman talking about how she had made macaroni, and she made this big old container of macaroni, and she asked her husband to leave her some the next day because she wanted to eat it when she came home from work. Her husband left her about 10 elbows of macaroni. And I knew, and the thing about it is that I'm so glad that I have a level of tolerance for bullshit, because one thing that I cannot stand in regards to men is how much they fucking eat. I can't stand how much they fucking eat. This is another reason why I would always deal with men who are smaller, because number one, I'm 5'1". I don't need a 6 foot tall man. Okay. So I like shorter men. Because one thing I would notice is that the men that were overweight and the men that were really tall, you couldn't share food with them. You could not share any fucking food with them because they would be so greedy. And then if you're dealing with this man that's that much bigger than you, imagine how much you got to cook for this man. Imagine how much you have to fucking cook for this goddamn giant that you now live with. And I'm so glad that my tolerance was low, because I'll never forget this story. I was a young girl, and I went over to my auntie's house. Went over to my auntie's house, and I had a Suzy Q, and I put the Suzy Q in the refrigerator with my name on it. I remember I go back the same day to get the Suzy Q, and the Suzy Q's fucking gone. Guess who ate the Suzy Q? Yeah, that's right. My greedy ass uncle. My greedy ass uncle. And if you can go figure, he was a terrible husband to his wife. My aunt is passed now, but he was a terrible husband. I find that there is a clear correlation between men being gluttonous in the amount of concern that they have for other people, especially when it comes to food. Because, like, one of my exes, my longest relationship, I couldn't get his ass to eat. He barely wanted to eat. He would forget to eat. He would stay so busy that he would forget to eat. He rarely would want to eat like that. I look at men with pure disgust when they eat a whole lot of food, because I already know that they're going to see food and they're just going to want to eat it, and they're not even going to think twice about, is the meal prepared for somebody else. Just that one incident with my uncle put a really bad stain on how I view men in relation to how they like eat food and how often they eat food. Like, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So that already and I was pissed. I was pissed. See, men are lucky. Men are lucky that I don't want to get married, because this is the reason why I don't really be dealing with anybody, because I will become vengeful. If a man ate my food that I have prepared, or I've prepared enough food for the both of us to eat, and you eat all my fucking food, you're going to die a very slow and painful death, because every time I cook for you, there's going to be some shit in your food. There's going to be some shit in your food. I'm going to constantly be cooking for you, and you're going to be like, my stomach is hurting, and I'm going to do it so slow. I'm gonna do it so slow over time too that you're not even gonna realize. You're not even gonna realize what's happening to you. This is the reason why, like, no, I'm not gonna get married because men would give me a reason to want to do something to them. And I'm sorry, I'm not the type of woman that takes pride in practicing restraint on men trying me. No, I'm not. I am not fucking restraining myself when you are constantly trying to test my limits. No. No, it's gonna be a laxative in there, and then before you know it, when you're still, because the thing about it is men are so fucking greedy, they're gonna still keep eating the food even after you put laxatives in there. That's the thing about men. That's the thing about men. They're so gluttonous, laxatives wouldn't even stop them. They would just keep on eating the food. They would just keep on deciding, oh, it must be my stomach. Something just must be wrong with my stomach, but this food is good. I'm going to keep on eating the food. Chow, that wouldn't even stop them. She said no laxative if he's at your house. Chow, like, I'm not doing any of that. Another thing too, when these men are threatening us with dealing with AI robots, when these men are dealing, they try to threaten us and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go get AI robots. Please do, because another thing too, I don't want to constantly be sleeping with somebody. I don't constantly want to be sleeping with somebody. I'm sorry, a man that's constantly trying to hunch on somebody, you're not busy enough in life. Okay, you're not busy enough in life. You're not tiring yourself out enough in life, because thank God, I am so grateful. And granted, I've never lived with a man. That's another thing too. I've never lived with a man. So I don't know how things would have played out for me if I would have lived with a man long term. But men that I would deal with would be so busy that, like, they would be tired. They'd be like, I'm too tired. I don't feel like it. So I can't wait until they get these AI robots, because they could just go deal with the AI robot instead of trying to deal with women, because just no. Like, no. Please, please make yourself so busy that you're too tired to do something. Because I'm sorry, a man that wants to roll around on the mattress and be doing the grown up all the time, you're not busy enough for me. Mm-mm. Funny story of a lady who told her boyfriend to not eat the gumbo in the fridge, but help himself to anything else. He ate the gumbo, got a stomach ache, asked her why, and she told him the gumbo went bad. Oh, that's so funny. That is so fucking funny. Men are addicted to breaking rules. Men are addicted to not fucking listening to anybody. Men are committed. Men are committed to not wanting to listen to women. So they just think, "Oh, I'm not listening to her. She not talking about nothing." And then shit like that happens. Like, she specifically told you to not eat the fucking gumbo, and guess what? You went on ahead and you did it anyway, which means you have no regard. It means you have no regard to listening to women. This is the reason why I don't believe in women communicating with men. Men literally, they said that when a woman is talking, men interrupt women 3 times more often. So if they're willing to interject on what it is that you're saying, they're definitely not trying to listen to you. This is why that whole, you need to communicate with them. These men aren't listening to what the fuck you have to say. They don't value women enough to want to listen to what it is that you have to say. They don't care about you or value your input enough as a woman to care about what it is that you have to say. So they're never going to listen to you. So that's why you should reverse psychology them like that woman. She didn't do it on purpose, obviously, but that should already tell you if you're dealing with a man, a good way to get a man to listen is to do reverse psychology and tell him to do something when in reality he should be doing the opposite because you know he's going to do the opposite because he's not going to listen to you. He's going to have such little respect for you that he's purposely not going to follow your directions. So guess what? Tell him to do the complete opposite thing that you would want him to do. And then guess what? All of a sudden you're like, "Oh wow, he's going to do it." He's gonna do it. My ex used to be so mad because I used to do that to him all the time. He used to be like, whenever I tell you to do something, you always want to do the opposite of what it is that I want you to do. And I'm like, because I know the reason why you're asking me what it is that you're asking me, you're trying to fucking play games. That's why. You're asking me these things and you're asking me to do these things because you're trying to fucking play games. I'm not stupid. No, I'm going to do the complete opposite because I know where it's coming from. He used to get so mad at me because, see, me, I've been getting called a smartass since I was like 9 years old. Okay. Smartass was my nickname. Like, seriously, my mom called me a smartass for a good like 15 years of my life. I am a smartass. I am committed to being a smartass. Do not try me. If you choose to deal with men, the best thing that you could do is to be a smartass. The best thing that you could do is be a fucking smartass 24/7. So when a man is sitting here saying, I don't like what you're wearing, you're exposing yourself too much, you need to cover up. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put on a fucking burqa. I'm gonna put on sweatpants and a hoodie and a fucking coat when it's 70 degrees outside. Since you want me so covered up. I'm gonna do the complete on the full opposite end of the spectrum. That way you never ask me that shit ever again. Oh, I don't like your makeup. I don't Okay, so now I'm gonna do the most ugliest makeup that you've ever seen me do. Like, imagine if women took men's advice and was like, we like y'all hair natural. And then just imagine if we all had our hair natural and we never brushed it. We never brushed it. We never did anything to it. This is natural. This is natural. You said that you want it natural. Like, no, I'm gonna sit here and give men whatever it is. I'm gonna give men whatever it is the fuck that they want, so that way they never have to ask me again. One time I got out of doing the dishes. I got out of doing the dishes because my ex was like, he had this entitlement where, like, because I was spending the weekends with him, he was feeling like he was paying rent. Like, he was taking 2 days out of the week thinking that he was providing for me. Like, sir, I live rent free at home with my mom and my grandma. You're not going to try to make it seem as if I don't have a pot to piss in because you're letting me stay over at your place on the weekend. Don't fucking start with me. So guess what I started doing? I started doing the dishes and he had a lot of glass. And so what I would do, I did it right in front of him too. I was doing the dishes and he has the little the glasses, the drinking glasses. I put a lot of soap on the outside of the drinking glasses and I put a lot of water so that made it real slippery. It was so funny. He was sitting at the island and I was washing the dishes. I was washing that glass. That glass slipped out of my hand, went right up against the black backsplash and shattered everywhere. And I did it like 3 times. I did it like 3 times in a row of washing. Then one time, I was fucking up all of his dishes. One time he wanted me to cook. And so what I did was I had baked something, but I purposely baked it on like a non-safe. It was like a heat, it was like a tempered dish. So you couldn't have it reach a high amount of heat. I put that thing in the goddamn oven and it shattered everywhere. He quit asking me to do dishes. He quit asking me to cook food. He was like, "No, we're just gonna go out to eat." He was like, "Oh, don't even worry about it." He was like, "I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna do the dishes." I was fucking up all of his dishes. I was fucking up all of his dishes. I've been doing weaponizing competence long before it got popular. Don't ask me to do shit. Don't ask me to do shit. As soon as a man wants you to do stuff, they're giving you the power. Take your power, take the power that they're giving you and abuse it because that's what men do. Men literally take the power that you give them and you appoint them to do certain things and then they abuse the power. She said this is the best. She said all of this stuff is childish and a waste of time. Just leave him if you are truly tired of the man. If you stay and play games, then you love it. I really did love it. This was when I was like 25. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like let's be for real. If every woman's first line of just leave, there would never, all marriages would cease to exist. Like, come on. A little bit of pettiness is fucking fun. A little bit of revenge is fucking fun. Obviously, I'm more mature now, and so I don't have the energy to do stuff. But for the young girls who are out here dealing with men and dating men and they actually have energy to do this shit, I'm telling them to choose weaponized incompetence every time. I'm telling them to play the game every single time because you're young, you have the energy, and guess what? That level of pettiness, guess what? That level of pettiness is going to be great because what do you think is going to happen that as a woman when you go to work, especially if you work in a male dominated field, do you not realize how beneficial that pettiness is going to be? Because if you are a woman and you work in male dominated fields, they see you as a woman and they're already going to want to delegate more work to you. They're already going to want to delegate more work to you. The easiest way to get out of work, especially when you're a woman working in a non-dominated field, is to be lazy and to have weaponized incompetence. That way they don't keep giving you all that goddamn work because they're going to if you're a woman. If you're a woman and you're over here like, oh my God, I'm going to be such a high achiever. Oh my God, I'm going to be trying my best to try to impress them and all they're going to do is make you an in-house slave to the company, and they're going to steal your ideas and they're going to count them as their own ideas. Like, what y'all don't realize is that you have to learn how to discern how to tell people how to teach you, or you have to teach people how to treat you. Exactly. I hate that us women are hardwired to be the bigger person in patience when men have none. Fuck that. Fuck that. No. Like, no, you don't get brownie points in life for being the bigger person. You can't sit here and, like Shira says, you can't sit here and play fair in an unfair world. No. Nope, I'm gonna be a little bit petty so that men think twice about doing it to the next woman. Point blank period. Point blank period. And especially if you have something to gain, in my opinion, if you have things to gain, I'm always going to be petty. I'm always going to be petty when I am still getting something out of the interaction with the man. I'm still gonna be petty. Talking about Shira, I just left her live to see you. Women should be taught to just take stuff from men and leave when it's not fun anymore. Men have no one's best interest at heart. Exactly. This is a reason why when women are like, love bombing, and these narcissists. It's like y'all get into the victim role too much. Y'all get into the victim mentality too much. You already know he's love bombing you. Men aren't going to wake up one day and say, I'm not going to be a love bomber anymore. No, because men understand if they don't love bomb you, you're not going to want to deal with them. So they're not going to listen to you and they're not going to stop love bombing. You should have the expectation that a man is love bombing you, and then you should get all the things out of the man. And then once he's done love bombing you, then you leave. Like it's just strategy. That's really what it is. Women don't know how to be strategic. Women don't know how to be strategic at all. In life, you have to have strategy. I'm sorry. If you want to be a successful woman, if you want to have your affairs in order, you are going to have to be strategic. I'm sorry. You just can't sit here in life. You can't sit here in life and avoid all triggers. That's impossible. You cannot live a life where you can avoid all triggers and you could just leave. You could just leave immediately. No. You have to be strategic. You have to know what to do, when to do it, know the target that you're doing it with, understand potential consequences and repercussions. You just can't sit here and say, "Oh yeah, like I'm just going to leave at every sign." No, you have to be strategic. You have to be strategic. This is why women, when they're like in a marriage with someone, you never tell the person that you're going to leave. That's the highest chance of them wanting to unalive you. That's the highest chance of DV going up when you tell someone that you're going to leave. You have to be strategic. You got to call the moving company. You got to get all your affairs in order, and then you got to take care of everything when they're not there. It's called strategy. It is. I don't date nobody anymore. I don't have time for those games. I don't have time for those games. But the thing that I think a lot of women have to realize is that when you're giving advice to other women, you have to remember that not everybody is at the same point in life as you are. Okay, that's very important. Not everybody is at the same point in growth and ascension as you are. That's very, very important to remember. So, a lot of the time, it'll be this judgment that women will have against other women. They're not there yet. So, you're wasting your time anyway. Your advice isn't going to be applicable because she's not there yet. Like, I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse over a woman who is obsessed with her man still, telling her, you need to leave your man. She's not leaving her man. Okay, she's not leaving her man, especially if the man is doing something for her. No, there's going to have to be another strategic way for her life to be a little bit easier because she's not going to leave. She's just not there yet. She's just not there yet. So you got to get used to understanding that not everyone thinks like you. Not everyone is at the point of life not everyone is at the point of life that you have. I have a lot of young girls who watch me that are dating. I don't think, me personally, I don't really think it's 100% fair to tell younger women if they do want to date that, like, oh, you can't date anybody. If they want to date and I tell them not to date, they're still going to go date somebody. I can't stop them from dating someone if I tell them don't date. Just because I don't want to date anybody, I'm not going to tell somebody. I'm not going to tell somebody that wants to date, oh, don't go on ahead and date. If they want to do it, they're going to go do it anyway. So guess what? The least I could do is equip them with the information that they would need to make dating a little bit easier, so that way they can gain more things from the dating experience and not have to be traumatized. It's like sex, right? Teaching your children abstinence is stupid, in my opinion. Teaching your children abstinence is stupid because they're gonna wanna sleep with somebody. Okay, they're at some point they're gonna want to have sex, and in most cases, it's gonna be before they turn 18. Should I live in the land of delusion and cross my fingers and hope that my daughter isn't going to sleep with someone? Or should I at least tell her, hey, you could get pregnant, so here are condoms, and you also could get STDs, so here are condoms, just in case you decide to do this. Like, you don't get on a plane You don't get on a plane and they just fly the plane and cross and hope and just say, well, you want to know what? Most of the time the planes don't crash. So we're not going to teach these passengers how to put on their little oxygen thing and how to prepare in case there is a plane crash. No, they teach you what you need to do on the plane just in case the plane crashes. Even though it's like a very, very low chance that that's going to happen, they're still going to teach you just in case. But me personally, yeah, I'm not dating these men, but yeah, there are plenty of women that still want to, there are plenty of them that still want to go on ahead and do it. Um Another thing too, these men that want wives, honestly, I would say 80% of men's motivation to get married is so that they can have some in-house punani. Honestly. Honestly. I truly believe that 80% of men's motivation to get married is just for them to have in-house punani. And then when they get bored with that, they'll go seek it from somebody else. They'll go seek it elsewhere. But I feel like for most of them, they just want to have full access to your body, if I could be completely honest. Because I don't think like really do underestimate how much work women have to do to have sex with us. And men are lazy. Okay, men are lazy. It takes a lot of work for them to be able to have sex with women. It takes a lot of work. Why do you think they be mad at the dating apps? Why do you think they be mad that they swipe? Why do you think they swipe right on everybody? They have to swipe right on everybody because they know that if they're picky and they actually swipe on the woman that they want to sleep with, they're going to have less options of women that are sleeping with them. So they're going to swipe right on everyone to increase their chances to at least being able to sleep with one person. Do you think men want to live a life of doing that forever? Do you think that men want to live a life where they're constantly going to have to be on the prowl searching for punani forever? No. So then once men are like, you want to know what? I'm tired. I am tired of having to search for punani and my searches have been unsuccessful. I need to find somebody. I need to tell them everything that they want to hear so that way I don't have to keep doing this anymore. And then once they get comfortable and once they get the feminine energy of the woman to make him look better, then he going to have all this punani getting thrown at him anyway. You cannot get married and it be unselfish because marriage is a transaction. Everything in life is a transaction. People don't want to believe that. Every single thing in life is a transaction because that's how they've created this world. Men were the ones that created this system of everything being transactional, which is why this is the reason why I don't understand why men are trying to get into relationships with women. And then all of a sudden, you're trying to make it seem as if everything is transactional now. Everything has always been transactional. It's never not been a transaction between men and women. It's really, really not. So what are we talking about? Like it's always going to be a transaction because that's how men created it. And they want to try to do it under the guise of it being like a genuine, like a genuine thing. In order for you to get married, it has to be through the legal system. That already makes it a transaction because now it has to be a record. Once something becomes a legality, it is now a transaction. So this is why a lot of men don't want to get married, because they're reminded of the fact that it is indeed a transaction, because then they're going to be held accountable to the transaction with marriage, and they won't have to be held as high to a standard in a relationship. This is also why a lot of them don't want to pay child support. Once again, it's a transaction. Yeah, marriage has always been a transaction. It's a business. Marriage has always been a business. She said, as of today, I'm 100% lesbian. Absolutely no exceptions. I legit thought I was lesbian, but I really do think I'm asexual now. Like, child, I feel like I'm damn near been every letter of the damn alphabet, the LGBTQIA alphabet, honestly. Cause child, I don't know. I don't know. And it's like I like women, but I think because asexual, in my opinion, okay, it just means that your first line of attraction to someone just wouldn't be based off of anything sexual. Cause I like believe in being like demisexual. You know what I mean? Like being attracted to like someone's emotional intelligence or just overall intelligence and things like that. I don't know. You haven't been moved by a woman that impresses you. Once that happens, you'll see the glory of WL, Women Loving Women Universe. Men changing your sexuality, saying this is someone who is asexual and all. Like, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing to be going through. It is. It's a weird thing to be going through because once you dismantle the I talked about it on the live stream the day before last. When you're dismantling decentering men, you naturally have to dismantle other things that you know about society. It just kind of goes hand in hand because we live in a patriarchy. So once you start looking into other things, it's just like, you know what I mean? Just other things start to come together for you, right? Okay, another thing is okay, in these marriages, the emotional labor, I have had so many issues in relationships because I refuse to give men emotional labor because I'm really not empathetic to men because I just feel like men shouldn't have an excuse. I just feel like men shouldn't I just feel like men shouldn't have all of these like things that they're constantly complaining about simply because I feel like a lot of the things it's avoidable in my opinion. And so whenever like I'd have exes and they would complain to me about things, and it also might be because I'm neurodivergent, but my solution would just be like, okay, don't do it again, you know? Um You know what I mean? I just kinda I don't know, there was, like, a lack of empathy that, like, I was having with these men, and, like, in one of the relationships, I definitely was wrong, like, looking back, I definitely was wrong. He really was owed a little bit more level of empathy than I had given him, because the job was coming after him, but also the reason why the job was coming after him was because he was trying to start his business while he was at his, job. He was like starting to start his other business and bringing that work to his work. So of course they're going to start fucking with you when they know that you're trying to work on something else and you're working on it with the paycheck that they're giving you. So yeah, and so I just like I don't want a man to look at me and say you're my piece. I don't want a man to look at me and ever think that. I am nobody's peace. All I do is cause problems. All I do is cause problems and piss people off. If you're looking for peace, you're not finding it here. Uh-uh. Because when men say, I need you to be my peace, they're just telling you, oh, put up with anything. Put up with anything and never complain. Let me cheat on you and give you an STD, have a baby outside of the marriage, and you're just still supposed to be there, knowing damn well that if you did a fraction of those things to a man, he would be out of there. A man would be out of there if you did a fraction of the things to him that he would be expecting, that you would be expecting. Like, no. Yes, after getting caught cheating, talking about be my peace. How about this? There was a guy at my workplace. He made so many poor decisions and it felt like he was fishing out for sympathy, just not to do better. And that's the thing too. I think once you exercise a level of empathy, I think once you exercise a level of empathy with them, they take a woman's empathy as excusing their behavior. Like, they don't take a woman's empathy as them just understanding the situation. They literally take it as, "Oh, she's just gonna let me do this." So that's the reason why I tend to not give them empathy, because just with experience, I had learned that that's just how they were reading into things. They were reading as it as, "Oh, she feels bad for me, and because she feels bad for me, she will just let me not work. She will just let me do whatever it is that I want to do because she feels bad for me." No, thank you. Not happening. My biggest fear used to be being alone, but to be honest, now it's losing myself to be with a man. Yes. It's like, child. And that's sad that they fearmonger women into being afraid of being alone. Like you're like being afraid of being alone. There's friends, there's family, there's animals, there's hobbies, there's community. You don't have to be alone. Okay, I promise you, you don't have to be alone. Men are not the only people in existence. Men are not the only individuals out there that you can spend time with. You can spend time with other people so that way you're not alone. Single dads and young widowers always seeking sympathy. Oh, did you guys watch the video that I covered of the man in Arizona that got convicted with all those charges after he realized that his daughter's boyfriend sent an Uber for her to go to his house? Y'all, he came out with more videos. He came out with more videos. And it's so funny because I've been reading The Gift of Fear. It's a book. I've been reading this book called The Gift of Fear. And one of the things that he talks about in that book is that giving too many details. A person that you meet, a stranger, they have a higher propensity to be dangerous when they're giving you too many details. And so the video that I posted, he does a follow-up video in response to all of the comments that he was getting on the video that I posted, because that video was not real well received by a lot of people. A lot of people figured that he was omitting something. He makes a follow-up video telling the story again, but while he's telling the story, he's recording in his home. So he's showing like he's showing like he's in his garage, and so he's showing like his daughter's front door, and he's showing him like, the lock or whatever. Essentially what he's over here doing is he's trying to do a true crime. He's over here doing a true crime episode, showing his house of like how everything was taking place, but giving the same exact story. These are dumb pieces of information that no one needs to know. None of us need to know how the door looked. None of us need to know how the lock looked when your daughter was supposedly on the other side of it, not letting you in. Then he had the nerve to say, I come back out here. He's coming back out into the garage. And he's like, my daughter just could have left the home. She could have ran away. He's like, she didn't need to call 911. She could have just ran away. When he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, you're definitely guilty. You're definitely guilty. The fact that you just said that your daughter should have ran away, or she could have ran away, he was like, she couldn't have been in danger. If she was in real danger, she would have ran away. There was absolutely no need for her to call 911. So you mean to tell me a 15-year-old girl is calling 911 because she just got caught trying to leave the house to go see her boyfriend? You mean to tell me that on a base level, that's the reason why she called 911, because she got caught sneaking to go see her boyfriend? I'm probably going to do a video covering that with the man. I don't know if you guys heard about the news. This is the worst thing about it. So there was a man, he unalived himself. He unalived himself after pleading guilty to letting his daughter sit in a hot car in Arizona for like 4 hours while he watched porn. This man was a married man. His wife left after the daughter died. His wife, literally, it was a record of text messages. The wife already knew that he was doing this. The wife literally sent him a text message saying, you keep on doing this. I've had to keep telling you not to do this. Then they had the nerve, the lawyers had the nerve at first. They were not going to let the father have, because they have 2 other daughters. The lawyer was not going to let him have any contact with his 2 daughters that were alive. He let the father go on a vacation with his daughters and his wife. Like the fact that the wife literally stayed with her husband after having to remind him not to leave their child in a hot car in Arizona is like peak level pick Misha. Peak level pick Misha. Yeah, the wife begged the judge to let him go on vacation. This is why I say pick Mishas are dangerous. Pick Mishas are dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And the thing about it is that these men don't do this stuff by accident. They do this stuff on purpose so that way the wife can leave them. They literally do this stuff on purpose. That way the wife can leave them because they're too cowardly to want to divorce their wife. So they literally They literally will go as far as to unalive their own child, hoping that maybe this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and then finally she'll leave me. It's like, um, it's a sickness. On her feet 10, 12, 18 hours a day minimum, and that idiot couldn't even watch the kids. Exactly. And I don't know what he did for a profession, but I highly doubt he was at the same level as her as an anesthesiologist. I'm going to assume that he wasn't, which is probably another reason why they got married. And the thing about it too is that she's an anesthesiologist, so she couldn't even have the excuse of, like, the finances. I mean, unless she was living well beyond her means, unless they were living well beyond their means. She's an anesthesiologist. She couldn't even use her finances as a reason as to why she couldn't divorce him. Because with 3 children, okay, I get it. With 3 children, okay. I get why you would need to plan a little bit and kinda think about how financially that's gonna look. You're a fucking anesthesiologist. You have more than enough money coming in where you can financially support your now 2 daughters and move on with your life and not have to be with this man. Peak level pick Misha for you to be able to have the opportunity to do that, and then you don't even use it, because there are women financially, they have to ride it out longer. They have to finish getting their college degree. They have to be in a better situation financially before they can leave. This is why, like Cecilia Regina says, she says being a pick me is expensive. It's very, very expensive. Like, Nicole Kidman is gonna have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a month because she wanted to marry an alcoholic and then reward him for staying sober by agreeing to financially contribute to him if they were to get a divorce for every year that he stayed sober. That's crazy. That's insane. Yes, it's like, "Oh my god, I didn't even know that he was unemployed." I figured he was because I seen his pictures, he looked unemployed. He did, he look unemployed. Meanwhile, he's staying home with the kids and not watching them and watching corn all day. That's insane. And then the thing about it is to think of the level of stress. Because here's the thing too, you can't tell me that after that situation happened with your first daughter, you can't sit here and tell me that you're not at work stressing about it happening again. So that's a whole nother level of stress that she now has to have while she's at work, having to make sure that she reminds her husband, don't leave the children in the car, having to text him and call him in between putting patients under anesthesia. Are the kids okay? Are the kids doing okay? Because you know that's what she was doing. You know that's what she was doing, having to do her job and micromanage her husband to make sure that her husband didn't kill another one of their children. Because you know that's what she was doing. Like, let me try to just have as much control over this situation because I want to keep a man so bad. If you got to do all that, you shouldn't be with no man. No. I'm not going to sit here and have to remind someone that I'm married to not to kill our child today. That's insane. That's insane that she literally was texting her husband and reminding him, "Hey, make sure that you don't kill our children today." That's insane. Just to say that you have a man, you're literally willing to keep a man in your life that you have to remind how to keep another human being alive, another human being that is reliant on an adult for their survival. You have to remind that person of that job. No. That's why that whole stay at home husband thing, no. Men are not naturally nurturers and caretakers and all that stuff. They're not. Which is another thing. The women keep thinking that if you get married, you're not going to be a single mom. Yes, you are. You're going to be a single mom that's legally married. Men are not caretakers. Just because a man is married to you is not going to make a man want to it's not going to make a man want to step up to the plate and want to be a caretaker for his child just because they're married. A ring is not going to give a man motivation to do something that he doesn't want to do. Men are not caretakers. They're not. Like I had posted a video talking about how technically baby mama culture is actually normal because men are not caretakers anyway. So there would be no need for them to be involved under taking by taking care of the children because they're not the caretaker. That's the reason why child support was created. Child support was created because they looked at human nature and they looked at the nature of men and they were like, men are not actually taking care of their children when they're present. And so the government realized they could use that to their advantage and then create child support to make up for the fact that men are not nurturing and caring people to their children because they're not. There were women in there that were like, it's not fair that men get to like do the fun part and women have to go through childbirth and women are supposed to be the ones raising the children. I'm like, okay, in a regular world where like you didn't have all of this like these societal things, you would just be raising your children with a ton of other women. So it wouldn't make a big deal to begin with. But they're not the ones like nurturing and caring for the child. So it's like women will complain about these things, but it's like they're not doing it. Like a lot of women just rather sit here and complain about what the men are not doing because they want to keep pointing the finger instead of just accepting the fact that they don't want to do it. So if you accept that they don't want to do it, guess what? Now you have options. You could choose to be a single mother, get your money together, get your affairs in order, and just choose to be a single mom. Or you could roll the dice and do it the old fashioned way and then sit here and complain about how you had a child with your husband and your husband won't help you. Or you could just say, fuck it, I'm not having children at all because I don't want to do it alone because I don't have a community because we don't live in a community child centric world. We don't live in a community child centric world anyway. So it's like you have options once you accept how these men behave. Like, and people will love to gaslight you and be like, but what about the future? What about humanity? Do you drive past the cemetery and look at the people in the cemetery and you think about them and you're like, oh my God, all those people in the cemetery. No one is caring about that. Nobody is caring about that. So it's not good. It's never going to make a difference. Like people just only say it to feed their ego. You're not caring about the people in the ground, and the people in the ground aren't caring about you. Humanity will be fine. Exactly. And then there were people that were like, the video that I did on andropause, there are people saying that, well, if andropause is an evolutionary marker that men are supposed to quit living their life after they, help create a baby, well, then shouldn't that mean that women would die after menopause? And I said, are you slow or are you slow? Men are not the main caretakers of children. Men are not the main caretakers of children. So if women died after menopause, you mean to tell me that men would be taking care of children? You mean to tell me that if women died after menopause, men would be the one taking care of children when there is no evidential proof ever that men have been the main caretakers? So you mean to tell me that we're going to have hospitals full of male nurses? We're going to have daycares full of men. So you mean to tell me that every single line of work that depends on extending the life of a person, which is primarily female dominated, would then cease to exist because men would then be in those roles? Be so fucking for real. That would never happen. That would never happen. She said we do have daycares full of men already. Like, what are we talking about? They want to try to use the same logic, but only when it's applicable. Women are only good for creating babies. Women are only good for creating babies, but yet you need the extension of life for women to live long, because it doesn't just stop after creating a baby. Someone has to be there to fucking take care of the baby. So if women just die after menopause, these men are all of a sudden gonna take care of the babies? No. Yes, most people do trust older women with children. Like it makes zero sense when these people have these arguments. These people have these arguments and you could just tell that it's fueled in ego. And they really don't. This is the reason why I don't understand why women want to keep getting married to these men, especially when they admit the fact that they want to be absolved from all responsibility. That's essentially what men want. They want to get the benefits of dealing with somebody and then be absolved of all responsibility and accountability that they would have to endure when they don't hold up their deal of the bargain. No. Queen, why do you think most women say boys are easier to raise than girls? Do you think so? I'm curious. The reason why women feel that boys are easier to raise than girls is because women don't have to have their behavior mirror to themselves when they're raising boys. When you're a woman and you had a girl, when you're a woman and you're a mother and you had a girl, you have a mirror put up to you. You had a mirror put up to you. Your behavior, the way that you react to things, how you deal with conflict, You have to face your internal misogyny. When women have boys, boys don't put a mirror up to women. And so women are like, "Oh, you want to know what? Now I can just be a nurturer and I can just be nice and I can have everything rooted in ego because then I don't have to face myself. I don't have to face any mirror in regards to myself." That's the reason why they say that boys are easier because boys don't require women to have to self-reflect on their behavior because boys require more effort. Boys require more effort. So the reward that women get, because boys do require more effort, technically, because men are little boys are not as strong whenever they're born. They're not as strong whenever they are born. And technically they're more needy. It's the lack of self-reflection that women don't have to do that makes it easier for them to raise boys. Every person that I know that has had a boy and a girl, when it comes to survival, the boys require more. The boys require way more for survival. This is what mothers tell me. They tell me that the boys are way more needy when it comes to their survival. It's the internal things that makes them frustrated with their girls. Like, no, you just don't want to see the reflection of yourself. So I kind of feel like whenever mothers are like real mean to their daughters, they're self-hating because I feel like there is a correlation between pick me moms are self-hating. And so when they have daughters, when they have daughters that they're mean to, it's because they hate themselves. They don't like themselves. That's really what it means. This is why I tell a lot of women that have like mommy issues and they don't have like a good relationship with their mother. You should never feel bad about that. You should never feel bad about that. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with your mama. And I wouldn't even be wasting my time because the older your mother gets, the more she's set in her ways. They're just never going to change. They're never going to change. You're just going to have to reparent yourself at that point. But to me, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it in my opinion trying to hold on to that type of relationship with your mother because she doesn't like herself. So for as long as she hates herself, she ain't never going to like you. She ain't never going to like you. She said I'm on the phone with my mom. Yeah, women value the adoration they get from their sons just like for men. Exactly. And this is the reason why another thing too is that mothers get mad over the fact that their daughters are more independent because it can't fuel their ego. Boys are helpless, and so it gets to fuel a mother's ego. So then the mother can always look at her son and be like, he's always going to need me. Like women are no better when it comes to enabling the behavior of people in order for them to be needed. They do it with their sons. They do it with their sons just like men do it with vulnerable women. They want to seek out the need of vulnerability that their sons have as a source to pump up their ego. That way they can always paint the picture of themselves to be this wonderful person. Boy moms never are ever going to think that they're wrong. They're never going to think that they're wrong because they're constantly having to nurture and coddle, and they're constantly enabling the boys. So they're never put in a predicament to self-reflect because they're like, "Oh, well, my son is so needy and I'm giving him all of his needs." A little girl can't fuel your ego because the little girl is going to be independent. She's not going to need as much help in regards to her survival than the boy is going to need. So when you feel like you're doing everything for the survival, that naturally is going to pump up your ego. You're never going to be in a predicament to self-reflect. And I come from a family and it's mostly women. My mom didn't baby my brother nor me, so she treats me like a boy. She expects me to spoil her and take care of her. Ridiculous. And the thing about it is that these mothers know subconsciously that their sons are not going to be able to take care of them. That's why I crack up so much at the boy moms, because being a boy mom and like being crazy about your son is all good and well until it's time for somebody to take care of you. That's when things get serious. That's when mothers have to really start self-reflecting, is when it's time for somebody to take care of them. And a lot of these mothers are super, super lucky. A lot of these mothers are super lucky that their daughters aren't evil-hearted and they don't wanna see their mother in a nursing home and not have agency over their mother being taken care of. A lot of these mothers are really, really lucky that their daughters are not inherently evil, because despite all of that, these daughters still step up to the plate and, like, make sure that their mother is taken care of. Because if I was being honest, child, if I was being honest, I feel like a lot of them mothers that treat their mothers a lot of those mothers that treat their daughters horribly, they don't deserve that. They need to sit and reflect. They need to sit and reflect on how they've made other people feel. They need to sit and reflect on how they've made their daughters feel. Because guess what? Their son's not sitting here caring about how their mom is feeling after their mom has sacrificed everything, coddled them, enabled them. Their son is out living their best life, not even thinking about the fact that their mother is sick. All my brothers, 26, 29, and 38, are at home. Told me I need to get a job or get out at 18. Oh my gosh. That would oh my god, I wouldn't go to any of their funerals. I would be cutting everybody. I would cut everybody off. Wouldn't none of them have my number? Wouldn't none of them have my number? Especially the 38-year-old. Like, okay, whatever the economy, if you're gonna make an excuse, 26, 29, whatever, but 38, 38. She said, "I always feel dirty going after." There is something haunting about a funeral. I can't explain it. Yeah, 38, bruh. Like, that's crazy. Like, could you imagine a man being 38 years old living with his mother in all the hoops and hurdles you have to jump through, getting a woman to come over, having to explain that, because he's not telling women that he lives with his mom. He telling women that his mom lives with him. Yeah, this my house. This my house, and my mama and my two brothers live with me. Meanwhile, he could hear the mom, "Okay, go hide," and the girlfriend's like, "But I thought this was your house. I thought they were living with you. Why do I need to hide?" Uh, he gotta come up with an excuse real quick. He had to come up with an excuse as to why he's hiding you from his mother when supposedly his mother lives with him. Because make it make sense. If they live with you and this is your house, you shouldn't have to explain nothing or hide nobody. I'll never believe a man telling me that his mama lived with him. Never. There was one guy that was trying to talk to me, and he made good money. Don't get me wrong. He made good money, but he told me that his mom had lived with him. And he's like, "Yeah, my mom is real sick, and my mom lives with me." And he was like, he was like, because I had asked him, I said, "So you're going to have your mom live with you forever? Like, what about if you get a wife?" Like, because he has a daughter, but his daughter is older. I think his daughter is like 17 or 18 now. He had a child real young. And I said, "Okay, but what about if you get married? Like, you're going to have your mom and your wife in the same house?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "I'm never going to have my mom not live under the same roof as me." I said, "Oh, well, we won't be talking anymore because I personally am not doing that. I personally am not doing that." Like my dad got a house for his mom that's like 5 minutes away. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. In my opinion, there are better ways to do that. And it's not the same. In my opinion, it's not the same. Being a woman and having your mom live with you is not the same as having a man and his mom live with her, because his mother is going to dictate everything the fuck you do if you are his wife and you live under the same roof as him. It's not going to be the same. If women do it, I feel like it's completely different. But a man living, no. No, the mother is in most cases going to have an incestuous relationship with her son, because I've seen it. One of a family friend of ours is from Guyana. Her husband's mom had been sick, and her mother-in-law was living with them, and it was fucking hell on earth because her mother-in-law was constantly dictating what it is that she was supposed to do, telling her, "You're not supposed to be out late. You're supposed to be just only dealing with your children. You're not supposed to be going out." It never works out. Whenever I hear that it's the mother-in-law, I hear from every single woman just about, it's a shit show every single time. She was miserable. Guyana, the like Caribbean. No, she didn't obey her mother-in-law. She didn't, and they were constantly arguing. They were constantly arguing, she said. Constantly going back and forth because she wouldn't obey her. No, I'm sorry. I don't have time for that. Boy moms are too entitled. They're too entitled. They want to tell everybody what the fuck to do. And it's like, no, it's a courtesy that you're even able to live under the same roof as us. No, I'm not doing it. If in my opinion, if it's the family of the mom, if it's the mom's mom, I don't hear those problems. I don't hear about that. I only hear about it when it's the mother-in-law. I only hear about it when it's a boy mom. I don't hear about it with anybody else. If it's a generation of 3 women up in there, grandma, mother, daughter, and then there's somehow a man in there, I don't hear about these problems. Because I have a friend that's from the Philippines. I have a friend that's from the Philippines, and like she lives with her, I think it's her brother-in-law. I think it's her brother. No, it's her brother and then her sister-in-law. And like her and her husband live there. And her brother, they had just had a child. They help with the child and everything. They do. They help with the child and everything. It's not that big of a deal. I'm sorry. Boy moms just have too much shit to say. A classmate of mine at university said he wanted boys because he said women have a much harder life in society, which is just as stupid. Because the reason why women have a harder life in society is because of boys, is because of men. So let me not make sure. So I rather give birth or help give birth to the perpetuator of the person making someone's life miserable, as opposed to having someone that will. Because guess what? You already had a boy. So guess what? They're just going to be a perpetuator of making the lives of living women and girls miserable. Like, don't you think the smartest solution would be to have no children at all? If you know that men are that bad that you wouldn't wanna have children, you just rather have the person that's gonna perpetuate the miserable lives onto everybody else. Insanity. Yeah, I agree. Like, no, no man and his mother-in-law, I mean, no man in general is gonna be under the same roof as me. Damn for sure. Damn for sure not a man and a mother-in-law. Baby, you couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me. Why are men saying what children they want anyway? They can't have babies. And they're talking about what children they want as if they don't decide the gender. You over here saying what child you want as if the woman determines that. You pick the gender. You pick the gender, fool. The man is the one that donates the X or the Y to figure out the gender. You should be telling yourself. You should be talking to yourself about what gender you want. You're the one choosing the gender. And to think that they were over here killing women, they were over here killing wives because the wives wouldn't give them the son that they wanted. When in reality, they were the ones not creating a son. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Any mommy or daddy issue, you just have to reparent yourself. Everything that you lacked from your mother, you got to give it to yourself. You got to be your own parent. Ooh, and you have a goddess frequency. You have a Nigerian mother. Ooh, I said it on one live stream before. My soul knew not to have my parents be in Africa. They chose for me to have African American parents. Child, I wouldn't even be alive. My soul knew exactly what it was doing. If I had came from a Nigerian family, child, I would be dead already. I would be dead already. They would have done the I'm not racist. However, The Nigerian, they don't play. They don't play. They don't fucking play. Have y'all seen the videos? Have you seen the videos of the Nigerian mothers screaming at their daughters because their daughters will not sign up for struggle because it's cultural? It's cultural. It's absolutely cultural. These mothers literally scream at their daughters because they absolutely refuse to sign up for a life of struggle that their mothers did. And when you talk, because I know a lot of Nigerian women, when you talk to Nigerian women and you talk about the trauma that their daughters have gone through on the level because of their mothers, it's really that deep. Okay, so anyway, um it's sickening to hear how some of those mothers act, and it's cultural. It is cultural. I would have been smacked the hell out. They would have smacked me the hell out because no. Okay, me and my mama even fought before. Okay, me and my mama even threw hands at each other once before when I was younger. I wouldn't have survived with a Nigerian mother. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. Women got mad at me saying it's eugenics. It's like, it's not eugenics, it's the natural order of things. Men have so much sperm. They can impregnate every woman. They could impregnate every menstruating woman on the earth right now. One of them could. One of them could impregnate every single one of us. We got to stay pregnant for 9 months. So you have to have more women than men because men can contribute more sperm than the amount of time that women would stay pregnant. I mean, it's just common sense. It's just common sense. Like, we literally could start a whole new population and just keep the sperm that's in the freezer and go use the sperm that's in the freezer. I love my mom. We have a great relationship now. We have a great relationship now, but oh my goodness, yeah. I was like, "You wanna know what? I'm sick of you. We're about to throw down. We're about to throw down." Who She said, "I used to fight my mom too. That's why I left." Girl, me and my mom were like this. We're like this now, but we had some growing pains. I told y'all. I told y'all I have a breaking point. This is why I keep people very far away from me because no. Because no. Men get mad when I say my mom is my soulmate. I heard that, girl, as it should be. Like, my mom is my twin flame, actually. Like, so you can't be it. And then men get mad when I'm like, yeah, my dad is actually my best friend. I could talk to him and tell him anything. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Oh man, threads know what they be doing. All right, let me look it up on Google. So y'all know Jay-Z has a I guess he wouldn't be considered an outside child because the outside child was before he got with Beyonce, but technically he does have an outside child. They're talking about the paternity test. Oh, they said Jay-Z won the dismissal of the paternity test. He definitely looks like Jay-Z's son. I mean, a nose that looks like that. I don't know. It's not the same nose, but it's not the same nose. So I'm not 1,000% convinced, but they said the girl was like 16, so that would have been in our wording. No, they said that he won the dismissal. And what's pissing me off is that if you the internet is dirty, dude. The internet is dirty. When you go on images for the comparison, at first, when you go look at the pictures, they keep comparing the pictures to when Jay-Z has glasses on, when he has sunglasses on. So you can't really compare. Now that I'm looking at pictures where they both don't have glasses on, yeah, it's definitely his fucking son. But that girl was 16 years old. That girl was 16 years old, which means it would have been statutory R wording. So he definitely can't have it out in the open that that's his son because he has much more on the line. Let me say allegedly. Let me say allegedly. I'm not trying to get sued, but yeah, it's bigger than the paternity because that woman was 16. That woman was 16 and he was, hold on. I'm trying to see how old he was. Obviously old enough to know WTF he was doing. Obviously. Because that's just weird. That's just weird. Okay, 22. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. That's another thing too. In Hollywood, when you watch a lot of stuff about Hollywood, it's sickening. It's sickening to look back and realize how these grown men were dealing with young women. Like Victor Valderrama was 30 years old. He was dealing with Hilary Duff before she was 18. He was dealing with Lindsay Lohan, but I think he was with Hilary Duff. No, it was Joel Madden. It was either Joel or Benji Madden from Good Charlotte, whichever one it was. They were like in their 30s, I believe, and he was dealing with her before she was 18. Victor Valderrama was dealing with Lindsay Lohan and Demi Lovato before they were 18, and he was fucking 30 years old. Um, who else? Like when you hear all these Hollywood stories and you just hear how prevalent it is for these older men preying on these new up and coming rising stars, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's totally normal. It's totally normal to do that. I heard Hillary Duff got a new song. I gotta listen to it. Yeah, Fez from that 70s show. Did I say Victor? I meant to say Wilmer. Wilmer Valderrama. I have so many people to listen to. I have to listen to Lily Allen's album because I heard she did a chronicalization of all of the stuff in her marriage. And did y'all know that her soon to be ex-husband, he just got the Millie Bobby Brown, she's accusing him of harassment. I'm going to be on a spiritual channel next week. I have my show coming up this week. So that's the reason why I haven't been able to be on the spiritual channel because I've had to do that. That was just the culture of the show. Okay, you can't be a long time. You can't be a long time follower of this channel. You wouldn't even comment some dumb shit like that. I'm gonna assume 16 in New York, but I know where it happened because I had been following for a while. They said that wherever state it happened in, they would consider that as statutory. I heard about Nick Lachey too. It's in Hollywood, it's so normal. In Hollywood, it's so freaking normal for it to be these large age gaps and for these Hollywood male celebrities to deal with women when they're like they're not women, but they're like 15 or 16. It's like, what? Like, oh my God. It's disgusting. It is. It's disgusting. Like, you're 30 years old. You don't have anything in common. You don't have anything in common with somebody that's 15 or 16 years old or 18 years old. You don't have anything in common. You have a 15-year-old talking about an 8 block schedule. I have an 8 block schedule. I go see Mr. Williams at 8 o'clock for social studies. Then I see Miss Patrick at 10 o'clock for algebra. Like, what do you like? You don't have anything to talk about that you would have in common with somebody that young. Like, what in the freak? She said she's problematic AF too. Men are lifetime children, pretty much. Like, I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine talking to somebody that young and wanting to date them. There would just never ever be a time I would look at somebody 15, 19, 20, 25, 28. Mm-mm. I gotta look deeper into Lily Allen because y'all are giving the tea. Y'all are giving the tea. So I'm gonna have to look deeper. I'm gonna have to look deeper into that. But like someone said, it's because we actually see men as people. We actually see men as people. It's like, of course, a man isn't going to care about your age when all they want is just the JJ. Yeah, I'm surprised Lily Allen is going so hard on David Harbour when she did her first husband so crazy. Ah, I have to look deep because, like, I haven't listened to the Lily Allen album. Like, I haven't listened to Lily Allen since at first, when I see you cry, yeah, it makes me smile. Yeah, it makes me smile. I had that song as my ringtone, and my gymnastics coach had that song as her ringtone. So that's the only time I've heard about Lily Allen. That's the only time I've ever listened to a song or anything like that. Haven't heard anything about her since this whole David Harbour situation. So I'm not on schedule with anything else that she's done. So I'm gonna have to look deeper into that, but I had a little inkling. I had a little inkling with Lily Allen. That's why I haven't listened to the album because I'm like, I don't know, something I don't know. You just get that feeling. You just get that feeling, and in my head, I'm like, I know she didn't make a whole album. I know she didn't make a whole album about this. Thank you. I'm not moving to Thailand anytime soon. The spirit is telling me to stay here in Florida. The spirit is telling me to stay here in Florida and like really, really just stay committed to content creating and like not going back to ultrasound. Don't get me wrong, it's a little scary. Don't get me wrong, it's a little scary to be doing, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to spirit. I am. I'm going to listen to spirit and do what it's telling me to do and listen to my spirit guides and let them lead me. But I keep hearing their voice and they're like, you haven't even given it a chance yet. You haven't even given it a chance yet. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. So I'm like, okay, whatever you say. Thank you. Oh, and don't get me wrong too, Goddess, I've been looking into NF. I've been looking into NF. I just need to I need to just make my profile. Can I Okay, so on NF when those girls have like the banners, can I like make me a banner in Canva and then like upload that or do I have to like do it like in NF? Like how does that work? She said, "No, don't go back to a 9 to 5." I know, spirit is telling me not to do it, so I'm not doing it. Okay, because 'cause I'm good with Canva. I'm really, really good with Canva. So, I'm just gonna make one on Canva and then do that. And I already know what, like, my niche is gonna be. I really sat down and thought about it. Oh, it's gotta be HTML? See, I don't know how to do any HTML coding, like, none of it. You're right. Invest your time and effort into your online presence. Exactly. So that's what spirit keeps telling me to do. So I'm like, bitch, listen to your spirit people. And I knew I was like, universe. I did a interview yesterday. I did an interview yesterday and I would have had to go to Iowa. So, and it would have just been a part-time gig. It would have only been the It would have only been the weekend. It would have only been the weekend. So I do the little phone interview with them, and I knew as soon as I got off the phone with them, I was like, yeah, I'm not getting this job because I already subconsciously gave these people like two excuses why I can't start as soon as they want me to start. And then this PRN job that I signed up for, I haven't completed the onboarding. They texted me today. I haven't texted them back. I haven't completed my onboarding because my flu shot is expired. And I'm like, ew, if I get my flu shot, that means like that would mean I would have to like go back to ultrasound. And I just don't want to do I just don't want to do it. And so in my head, I'm just like, girl, you don't want to do it for a reason. Like, all that's going to happen is that I'm going to take an ultrasound assignment, be miserable, and then they're going to terminate. They're going to terminate my contract because I can't even hide it anymore. I can't even hide it anymore. I'm like, girl, you're going to take a contract and they're going to terminate your ass anyway because you're not even going to hide the fact that you don't want to be there, bitch. Like, just stay on the path. Just stay on the path, girl. Exactly. You're on another timeline. Don't go backwards. Exactly. Yep. So I'm just going to trust myself and trust the process. And like the pole community here is just so good too. And like the aerial arts community is so good too. Because another thing I never told you guys, like, I've always wanted to do burlesque. I've always wanted to do burlesque. I've always wanted to like be a performer in that way. I've always wanted to do it. And like, I can do it here. I can do it here. And I really do believe that, like, with the skill set that I have with like pole dancing and like my gymnastics background and things like that's another sector that I can like really go in because I would love to like instruct too, like in the future. I would love to instruct pole dancing and aerial arts and things like that. So I'm really more tied into my like creation now, and I just need to just lean into it. But like I said, is it a little scary? Yes, it's a little scary. Also, consider travel teaching pole-esque from city to city. Exactly. So that's definitely where my brain and where my heart is, in addition to obviously creating content still on here as well. But yeah, I'm just listening to spirit, listening to spirit. Someone asked me, how do you listen? Someone asked me, how do you like follow your spirit and how do you follow your God? When you learn how to get rid of all the opinions of other people, there it's going to speak to you heavy. Like when you don't care about following society's rules, you're only going to hear the voice of what the universe and like your ancestors and like whoever you're connected to is telling you because you won't be caring about what anybody else has to say. She said you ain't somebody said you ain't fine enough for that with your good begging self. I did it as a stripper, so I don't see why I couldn't do it in burlesque. I already did it once. Can you do handstand forward roll? Yeah, I can do a handstand forward roll. True. I want you to be my instructor. Yes. A Dusty hating on a woman is on the down low. Exactly. He can't. And the thing about it is that these men will make these comments. They ain't been able to make not one dime from how they look. These Dusties ain't these men that make these comments, they ain't been able to make a fucking penny based off of how they look. So until you can make a penny off of how you fucking look and show me how to do it, you can't talk about anyone being able to make money off of them being pretty or not, like, or being fine enough or not. Exactly. If you come to my city, I will pay to take your class. Okay. Who the fuck names their child D anyways, child? Tweedledee, Tweedledum. He probably got a sibling. He Tweedledee, he got a brother named Tweedledum. I'm 35. I'm 30. Men hit the wall at 35. Exactly. Like, honestly, they don't, these men are crazy. These men are crazy. My best friend said they need to do background checks for podcast equipment. They sure the fuck do. They sure the fuck do. And here's the thing, too. If I was born a man and if I looked like how most of these men looked, I would be mad too. I would be mad too. There's a reason why the trans community is mostly trans women. These men don't want to be men, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You got to be born non-attractive. You got to be born non-attractive. You got to be born with enough testosterone to do physical labor. And the thing about it is that that's tiring, that's exhaustive. And then the thing about it is that you're going to beat up your body when you're young, and so you won't be able to do that physical labor for forever. Because this is the thing. They love to throw this back at women with our beauty, where your beauty is going to run out. Sir, your body's going to get old and tired. How are you going to protect somebody at 50 years old? How are you gonna, oh, well, we do physical labor. How are you gonna provide with your physical labor at fucking 60 years old? Getting back replacements and hip replacements and knee replacements and shit. Like, sir, your physicality with your body's gonna run out too. So not even men have something of value that isn't eventually going to wane away. This is why they're so mad at surgery. They get so mad at surgery. Y'all have seen these facelifts. These facelifts are looking better and better and better and better. Like, sir, your hip replacement, you gonna be out for a good 6 to 8 weeks. You getting your spinal fusion, you gonna be out of work and having to get physical therapy for a while now. So so let's make sure we remind men of the fact that with the ability for them to be able to do physical labor, they are going to get older and the physical labor is going to be harder. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here. Okay, I'm gonna get off of here. Oh, you came in at the end. I'm sorry. Y'all know I usually only do the live streams for about 2 hours, just so that it's consistent and we don't run over and go too crazy. That way I can get enough people in here and they can restart it from like the topic and then catch up near the end. So that's why I like to have it be 2 hours. But I'm gonna get off of here. I'll for sure be back next week if I don't come back over the weekend. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.